Hey guys, Mike, IronTrap Garage. We're back with another weekend life of. I just got back from vacation. I was gone for a long weekend, so I have a bunch of stuff to catch up on. Don't have a ton of stuff to ship, but a few things. Ryan is over at the mill with Matt today, helping them do some work over there. So I am on boxing duty, unfortunately, but it's not too bad. There's like 25 items. Steve is over here working on the Sedan delivery.
Yep.
What do you got going today?
Interior stuff. I'm gonna make it a driver. It's time to get her out on the road. Gonna cover the floor with some sound deadening. Make a battery cover. Got a couple of gauges to install.
Oh yeah, where are those gauges at?
Yo, they're over on the. You wanna check it out?
Yeah. So Matt's been working on the Merc. So there's dust everywhere. It's looking like a body shop in here. But Matt got some gauges from Williamson Instruments in Arkansas. These were boat gauges that they made custom faces for the Sedan delivery to match the stock Ford gauges. So we're going to put electronic temp sender in.
Yeah, they send them with a matched sender for it, so it should just be put them in and have at it.
Yeah, so now we'll have oil pressure and temp finally, because these did not come with them at all from factory.
Exactly.
So,
one other thing. Thank you everyone for the kind words and the well wishes.
yeah.
I appreciate all that. It was a bright morning.
So,
thank you very much.
Yeah, Steve's back this week. Everyone thought we were hiding you away.
Yeah, no, I ain't dead yet.
So he's going to get some work done on Sedan delivery. Matt and I might do joint drives together. We can put all the tools and extra fuel in that thing. So when we break down, we have our own built-in support vehicle. So getting some work done. Hopefully maybe by the end of the week, this thing will be in color. I think that's
he's looking to spray it early this week.
Yeah,
so
so that'll be exciting. It'll be neat to see this thing all one color. Very exciting. So let's get to work.
I think that'll work.
Today is Tuesday. We're at the mill, organizing and sorting. So I went and got more wire crates. So we were gonna spend the day sorting and organizing. Our friend Luke is with us today. He's knee deep in sorting and organizing. Got two of these wire racks that Ryan sorted last week in here, stacked pretty nicely. The only downside is this is gravel here, so we had to put a skid down to maintain it, but they stack nice. So we have two more over here that are done, and one that has stainless. So what we're gonna do today is all of this is from the same estate. So I have, was there 3 pallets out there? There's one here, 2 more back here. We're gonna work on consolidating all of this. If I can get this all into a few wire bins, move all of it from this bay to this bay here, it's all sorted and organized by this estate. You can hang out here till we're ready. And then there's basically filling up these 2 whole bays. So if we can consolidate it all down to one, that'd be good. And then we can move our attention over to here. I'd like to try and get all of this upstairs today. So we'll see how that works out. Ryan and Rich are working on pulling some shingles on the front of the building. And I think at the end of the day today, if we have time, I'm gonna roll the 35/6 5-window into the trailer here, take it over to the shop. So tomorrow we can work on putting it together. We'll see what we get accomplished today. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday. We're starting the morning out at the mill. Kind of just show you guys everything we did yesterday. We got a lot of work done. Upstairs, we got all the body panels organized. For the most part, I'm not going to take you up there. Just cleaned up a little bit of the chaos of just piles of body panels. They're now organized by year. We need to figure out how we want to fully organize it so it's like easily shoppable. But for right now, it's way less of a piled mess. Ryan Rich and my son Nate did some work on this. This side's super solid. It doesn't need any real repair. So Matt and Ryan are actually going to finish this up today and get the rest of this torn off and cleaned up. Biggest surprise, there's some lettering up under there. So we're not sure what all is there, but they're going to work on that this morning, get that all cleaned up. And then you ready to do more shingles today?
Yep.
It looks like all the shingles are off. It's mostly just like nails and tar paper. Should go pretty quick this morning. And then the biggest thing that we did yesterday was organize. Luke helped me out and we got this whole bay empty, minus some big stuff, and organized and all put in here. So there's 10 wire racks in here. All that stuff from the local estate. I picked up a bunch more, so we're gonna work on continuing to organize. End of the day, this is some more stuff from Oklahoma. That's just some smalls that we just put in these wire racks so we can easily move them. It was just a giant pile right here. And we freed up another wire cart. Still need to go through all this mess here. We're working on it. It's just a lot of stuff to go through. But now that we have these carts empty, I can fill one of these with hoods and take it right upstairs and we can put it away. So this is some stuff we still need to organize, but it looks much better in here. There's a ton more room, a lot of stacked much easier. So what Luke and I are gonna work on today is we have this 5 window that we got in Minnesota. We've been waiting for a good time to bolt it all together. We gathered up some bits and pieces for some different estates, got a front axle for it finally, fenders, running boards, grill, all that good stuff. So I am going to back the trailer up and we're going to pull this thing out of here and take it to the shop. A little bit of back and forth to make our lives a little easier. We have all the tools, bolts, U-bolts and everything at the shop. So we're going to drag this to the shop. It's easier to bolt together there so we don't have to do back and forth running. And we're going to get this thing together and up for sale. And then we'll probably just bring it back here to store it so it's out of our way. But get the trailer hooked up, get it over here and get this thing loaded. Battery's gonna die. All right, if you could grab that rear wheel, we're gonna try and just shimmy it. These slides actually pretty easy. Try and keep it that direction. All right, that's good. Leave it straight there. Hey, Luke.
Yep.
Aim that way. Try and aim that way. No. Take the front end that direction.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't. I thought you were
No,
pointing the
you're
other way.
good, yeah. Because of the flat tire, it's loading kind of crooked. There you go. Thank you.
All right, so today is, trying to remember, Wednesday-ish. It's been a Thursday? Maybe it's Thursday, yeah. Anyways, don't even know what day it is. We've been pretty busy at the mill. I've had, luckily this week, a bunch of help. And it's Wednesday, that's what it is. And just had been fortunate the past handful of weeks. We've been having a bunch of just local viewers, friends, customers that hired help that can help for a day or here or there, or maybe their job allows for a Monday and Tuesday or a Thursday off, and they have offered and just doing some hired labor. So I've been kind of over at the mill almost every day that I have available helper, just to work alongside them and try and get stuff done. So much like last week where we had a ton of helpers, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we had a bit of help. So our local guy Rich coming over and been helping us do a lot of the not fun work. Got to give him a shout out because he's been working with me, and Ryan also, who's here regularly every week in the summer, doing a lot of like not fun work. So those guys are actually already over there working, but I figured I'd stop midweek and just show you a little bit what's going on. So Steve's been working on the Sedan delivery, and I'll flip you around here. Sorry for the shakiness. And Steve's just been working on, I drove the Sedan delivery a bunch last week, just around town, working out bugs, different stuff. And now it's time to start making it a little more complete. So he did a great job. We get these flooring stuff we get by the roll, actually off Amazon. I found it a while ago and I've used it in a bunch of cars and different things. It's really nice. It's got this pebble look to it, much like the old school rubber mats had in a lot of these stock and aftermarket applications. So it's a little hard to see with the lighting because of the shadows, but it came out really good. He was able to put the stock door sill pieces back on, and that all holds the rubber mat down. He also put some of the Eastwood X mat. I like using the thin stuff that they have, which is the low profile dense stuff. This stuff's got like a little fuzzy. It's almost like a factory like jute type material or whatever, but I like this stuff because it's not as thick. It also is black, so if you do happen to pull the rubber mat up or there's an area where you can kind of peeks out, it's not that bright silver, which on these cars I don't want that. But it's going to help a lot with the sound and the fumes and everything because he sealed everything up really good. And this is a better look at the cutoffs in the rubber mat. So this stuff's, I think it's like 1/8 inch thick. You can get it by the roll. I got a huge roll of it to do the big red truck, and we just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So he stole a good portion of the roll for that. So that's what's going on with that. Then, end of the day yesterday, Steve got to work on some of the gauges. So what I started out with, we went to Williamson Instruments. Big shout out to them. They do some fantastic work. So these gauges here, or gauge, other one's in the car, I'll show you in a moment. We started out with some pretty obscure, I have some of these Century boat gauges that are in Sweetheart Roadster. I had some extras that were kind of damaged and not in great shape, whatever. And we started out with them as a base, and then they actually printed new faces with a font that kind of matches the original 34 Ford font, and they moved the temp up in there. Just something that looks a little more fitting in the car. So they put that in. Steve has already got this one mounted in the center, and I picked those gauges because the diameter of them was actually like perfect in this space here, because it's a standard dash to go here and then up above. So it worked out really, really nice. I actually was able to find, crazy enough, a a step bit that goes up to 2 3/8. Look at this massive thing. And 2 3/8 is the size that you need to actually fit those gauges in from behind. So that's a controlled way to do it. So Steve's been working on that. So that's what's going on in the shop. I have a bunch of painting stuff or priming I've been doing. So I don't know if I really showed any of this, but over the weekend I was working on body working and priming the different areas. So the nose here is all prepped, and the primer, high build primer, and the urethane primer is all blocked out, and I have it smooth and ready to blend in with the black lacquer. Just been working around all these panels. The roof is pretty good. This rear fender I ended up having to go over and prime the whole thing, even though some of it was still had paint on it. There's definitely some body work that's, that was from when it was painted last time that was like so that's why you're seeing some spots that are breaking through there. But I think I'm gonna ignore it for now. We're gonna paint it and might have a couple waves in the panel. That's okay. Same with the trunk lid. Trunk lid's all body worked and primered and blocked, and it's pretty good for some paint. I just got to go everything probably with one more finer grit before paint and clean it, of course. So what I have left the rest of this week is mainly this fender, and I got to actually prime up in the door sill area, or whatever you want to call it, over top of the doors. Those areas are still like bare metal, and there's a little spot here I got to put a little swipe of filler, a couple little pits from welding. So I just got to do that to get it primed, and of course got to tape off all this stuff here, and then I'm probably actually gonna, because of the way we had to fix everything here with the rust repair and it damaged the paint, I may paint or blend into this quarter. So it's going to be a lot. I'm almost painting the whole damn car, but I'm just trying to do what I can to keep it moving. So fingers crossed, end of this week, this weekend, can do that. But I have to do it in between Steve working, so I can't really do body work in here while Steve is working on Sedan delivery. So I've been doing this stuff like at night in between that. So that's what's going on. Long-winded thing. I'm going to head to the mill. We're going to keep working.
Alrighty, she's all bolted together. It wasn't too bad, just some little fenders were out of shape, that kind of stuff. But overall, not in terrible shape. Back of this fender is probably the worst spot. This side of the body has a little doo-wop right here, but otherwise pretty solid. Trunk lid. Skin has some damage, but the underside's really nice. Came together pretty good. So we're actually gonna take it back to the mill now. I photographed it. It'll go back to the mill for storage. It just doesn't need to be sitting here in the way. It's easy enough to pick up over there. So we'll drag it back into the trailer, take it over there. It'll live over there till it's sold. This will be available for sale. $5,500, I believe, is what we're going to be asking. We do have an engine and trans we can add in, but the trans crossmember, I think it had a small block Chevy in it or a Y block. I'm not sure what. It has some mid mounts in the engine bay. So it had some sort of overhead valve engine. It's got like a parallel leaf rear end. I'm not sure what it's out of, either Ford or Mopar by the bolt pattern. I think it's 8-inch rear. But she's together. She doesn't look bad. It was only a couple hours worth of work, so take it back to the mill till the new owner is ready to buy it. So got plenty of other stuff to do today. Hopefully, I pulled my car out, do a few little tinkers on it, and then I'm gonna take it for a test drive today, probably over to the mill and around some back roads. So get this loaded up and then have some fun on this Wednesday and do some driving of that thing. So.
All right, so right before the rain starts, it's starting to drip on us. Ryan and I got the last of the shingles and everything, tar paper off, got all the nails pulled, and uncovered everything. It's pretty neat. All this old lettering here is really, really cool. So what actually happened on this building is many, many years ago, this building was built, originally part of it in 1850 something, mid 1850s. And the building used to actually be here, like out into the middle of the street. And they did the eminent domain type thing, made them cut the building back when they paved the street. And what we think is this is the original face of the building, and they just cut it off, cut the building back and moved it there. So this is probably the original lettering, or some of very old lettering that was covered up by shingles. And they did not obviously have OCD like I did, because when they put it back together, they didn't make the letters all line up. So we're trying to figure out what it said. I have a feeling there's some missing letters, but we're not sure.
Are we moving all the boards?
We might. I don't know. We have to like take photos and see if all the boards are there to complete the letters before we start ripping boards off. Or we may just have to paint over it and put something else there. But it would be really neat. It's actually quite fascinating. A lot of neighbors stopped by and took photos, because nobody's, in most people's lifetime, not seen that. So that's what's going on. Just in time for the rain to start, so we're gonna clean up and get out of the rain.
so it is the end of the day Friday. Town Museum, or a couple blocks over, is doing a monthly cruise-in on like the third Friday of every month. So since we got this thing running this week, I figured I'd just ride it over there real quick, run it over. So Matt's already over there, Steve's headed over as well. So I figured fire this thing up, take it over, and hang out for a little bit. So yeah, hopefully we don't have any problems.
It's not a gotta have car.
No.
Maybe a black one.
Black would be cool. All right, so that was a successful little trip. I know it's not very far to the Town Museum from here, but I made it there and back, no problems. That's the important thing. One thing I will say that I've noticed that's been happening is it's been dripping a little bit of oil out of the front of the crank. So I might have to drop the oil pan and pull off the timing cover to do a rope seal in the front. But we'll see how it goes. The engine sat for many, many years with nothing. Just sat in a garage after being rebuilt. So it might just need some heat cycles to get some oil into the rope seal to swell up to seal. If not, just have to pull it apart. It's part of the process. But I'm very happy. It's 3 successful test drives, no problems. Made it back to the shop without having to call anyone. That's the important thing. This is a very, very busy week. We have a lot going on. Next week's, if you can imagine, even busier. We're headed to an estate middle of next week, so we have a bunch of prep work I need to do at the mill next week, and the list goes on and on. Matt's going to finish off this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, sanding on the Merc. Hopefully get that thing acceptable to spray all black. So thanks guys for watching. We appreciate it. We have a lot of fun doing these week in the life of, because there's just a ton of crazy stuff that we get into every week. So thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. See you later.